Canadians ain't got a care in the world.
I'll tell you another thing, the beer sucks. All I said was Canadian beer sucks.
Hey, what's up everybody? I'm a little bit cold. It's a little chilly this morning. I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I want to show you some John Candy sites that were pivotal in his life. To get this tour started, I want to take you all the way through Toronto and show you some John Candy sites. Let's start here. I'm in part of Toronto, East York. Right here in front of me is Holy Cross Catholic School. This is where John Candy attended school. Now, his high school is a little further from here, but Holy Cross School is where he attended. Now, he lives just up the road, so I'm actually just going to walk to his house and the movie theater, show you that. We'll talk a little bit more about him, and then I'll take you to some other sites in Toronto. But that's the school. He would have come and gone right from those doors.
I was never a great student. I tried, but I don't think I was a very good student.
My favorite John Candy movie: Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Friend went. I worked in the kitchens here, you know, preparing the food. She lopped the top of her finger off slicing carrots one night. She looked in the pot. She looked for it, never could find it. She thinks it was served on the Singapore run.
I enjoyed that movie. I loved him in National Lampoon's Vacation, even though that was just the scenes at the end. Uncle Buck was amazing. What's your favorite movie? Let me know in the comment section below what you like. Because, you know, it's hard to pick a favorite. He's had so many good ones. What do all young people like to do? They like to go to the movies. And there was a movie theater. It's really, really well known. It's not a movie theater anymore, but it's right here in front of me, and it's where John Candy always went to the movies. This is the Donlands Theater. It actually was a theater until 1969, and then it reopened in the 70s and showed Bollywood movies, but very, very well known in Toronto. And the building still looks the same. This is where he would come. He often talked in interviews about how he would come here in the afternoons and watch movies. Now, you're gonna ask me, how did he pay for it? Well, maybe you're not gonna ask me that, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. He actually sold bottle caps. That's how he paid to come to the movies. And he had also talked about that. But it's right here. He would have come right through these doors. Now, some of the research that I did tells me that he was an usher here, but other reports say differently. So I'm not really sure, but I know he spent every Saturday afternoon here, and he actually said in one interview that he would go home and recreate every movie just to hide from himself. But it started right here. Now, what's across the street? Well, that's where he lived. And I'll tell you a little bit more about where he lived and how he ended up there. So let's go over there. But this was the Donlands Movie Theater. This is where he would recreate scenes from movies, and where his brilliance probably started. Right here on Donlands Avenue. We're gonna go over to his house. Let's go check it out. When John was only 5, in 1955, his father passed away.
Probably taking on the father role unconsciously. You know, as a child feeling, you know, when there's a loss of a parent. Well, I'll fill in, as children will do, you know. I know it's only been in the last few years that I really started to deal with that.
Now, his mother moved here to live with her parents. So John moved here and started living here when he was 5. Here's the house right here. That's the house of John Candy. Right there. That's when he moved. Now you can see that the front is all new. It's a whole new front that they put on. I'll show you some photos. The actual shape of the front window is similar, but it is a new front that they put on. But that's the house. Oh, what do we got going on here? We got some Halloween decorations. John Candy moved here, like I had mentioned, when he was only 5 years old. And if you look down the street, you have the theater right at the end of the road, and his school was right around the corner, but we are on Woodville. That's the house. Such a small, well, like all yards in Toronto, if you even have a yard, very small front yard, but he would have come in and out of that front as a child growing up. Alrighty, so we're gonna go check out more John Candy sites. Let's go. Alrighty, we're right in the heart of downtown Toronto, and how could I show you John Candy sites without showing you where he was married? Right here. On April 28th, 1979, he married his girlfriend Rosemary right here at St. Basil's Catholic Church. Right here in downtown Toronto. It's so cool to think that our beloved John Candy got married right here in this church, right here in downtown Toronto. Alrighty guys, let's go on to another site. Okay, the traffic is always crazy here, so if you can't hear me too well, I apologize. Now, I can't end a John Candy video without showing you the infamous SCTV House. The house that Eugene Levy and Martin Short were renting, and where actually John Candy moved in with his girlfriend after they moved out. But it's right over here. Now, do you remember that TV show SCTV? The opening where they were throwing out all those TVs from a high-rise building. That was thought of right in the kitchen of this house. So it's kind of cool to see this and hear about the legends that have been in and out of this house. Let me show it to you. It's right there, right beside the White House, 1063. That's the infamous SCTV House. Now, imagine the legends that came and went from that front door. Gilda Radner, Dan Aykroyd, Candy, Martin Short, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, Paul Schaefer, and the list goes on. So many. Now, you're probably wondering, how would so many comedy legends end up at this house? And how did it come to be? Well, it actually didn't start here. It started down at the Royal Alex Theatre in downtown Toronto. Now, they were doing Godspell, and two of the cast members, Martin Short and Eugene Levy, were renting this house. It was from 1973 to 1978. Then they move out. What happens? John Candy and his girlfriend, Rose, move in. Now, remember the church I showed you where he got married? He actually invited the landlady of this house to the church, to his wedding. Now that shows you, I guess, as a tribute to what this house meant to him. But this is the house right here behind me. You could almost imagine them sitting around a kitchen table, so many comedy geniuses, writing and figuring out little skits and ideas for what they were going to do for SCTV. That's the house right there, and it still looks very similar You can see some of the houses have been updated, but this is the SCTV House right here. Alrighty guys, I'm so glad you came along with me to see John Candy, one of my favorite comedians. The site's here in Toronto.
One of Canada's most famous entertainers, John Candy, is dead at the age of 43. Candy was in Mexico working on a movie. He died of a heart attack. Back after this.
Alrighty guys, I'm at Holy Cross Cemetery here in Los Angeles, and today I want to show you the grave of the amazing John Candy. And John Franklin Candy was born in 1950. He's known for so many amazing movies. Summer Rental, Splash, Spaceballs, Uncle Buck, The Great Outdoors, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. This is the final resting place of John Candy.
Capacity for caring was unlimited. We are shocked and we will miss him.
John was a humble, sensitive man, full of faith, who seemed forever grateful for his gifts and his time on this earth.
When I think of John Candy, I think of a big boy. I think of that lovely smile.
Just amazing to see this. Right there, John Candy. Right here at Holy Cross.